Halloween is well and truly over for another year, but we did get that teaser trailer from Blumhouse a couple of days ago. I did do a trailer reaction to it, and I also done a trailer breakdown as well with all my thoughts at the time. But what I done was I put the power in your hands again, guys. I asked you the question, what did you see from the trailer, and is there anything you want me to discuss in the next Halloween video? And that's what we're going to discuss today.
Everybody's a suspect!
Coming to get you, Bobber.
Wolfman's got Nards!
Now, obviously, given a couple of days to think about the trailer, watch it again, there are a few things in it that I noticed that I didn't notice the first time that I want to discuss. Obviously, as well, it's also thanks to you guys as well for maybe pointing some things out to me that I didn't notice before, and I thought, oh yeah, I never even thought of that. So I'm going to go through that as well. Also, I did put up on the community page on YouTube for you to give me your thoughts and opinions, and maybe some questions if you want. I'll go through some of them as well. We can discuss them in the video and see if we can come to some sort of theory on what we think might happen. Now, I'm not going to read out any spoilers. This is just coming from us, the fans, who think this is what could happen. This is what we saw from the trailer, what that could happen as well. None of it's going to be spoilers. It's just all thoughts and opinions. Now, just like before, I'm going to go through some of the screenshots that I looked at the last time when I done my trailer breakdown as I'm going through these questions, because some of them will make sense when we look at the images, and also it'll probably make us ask questions as well, and I'll tell you what I mean by that. Now, I've got a question first of all by Anthwood Movie Mania. He said, could the women from the cemetery be living in Michael's house? Maybe that's why it shows a random kill in the trailer. Now, that's something I want to talk about, because somebody did mention that they think that the woman in the cemetery in the 2018 movie is the same woman in one of these screenshots that I posted up. And it is her. I completely forgot about her, but let me just go to her just now. This woman here. She's holding up a wine bottle and looks like Michael's attacking her. It also looks like a similar scene to the one where he's smashing that old man in the head when he's put his hand through the glass to kill him, or possibly kill him. So we've got our theories on who she might be in relation to anybody else in the trailer, but we do know that she is the same woman from the 2018 movie. So going on from what Anthwood Movie Mania said, could she be living in Michael's house? Well, I don't think so. Judging from that image, I don't know. I don't know who lives in Michael's house. Somebody could live in Michael's house, or it could still be empty. We just don't know that yet. But going back to her, I think the reason that she's in this trailer and in the movie is because she's a caretaker in the cemetery. So that because she's back again, and she's got a name in this film as well, because she's back, I believe that Michael is going to go to her house or go to where she works at the cemetery. She looks like she's wearing possibly a uniform. Can't tell much, it just could be her nightwear. But it looks like he's going back to get maybe a set of keys to the cemetery, or get information from maybe filing cabinets or whatever to find the location, again, to Judith Meyer's tombstone. You probably think that doesn't make sense because he was actually there in the 2018 movie. I don't know, he's 61, maybe he's forgotten again. But he obviously follows her somewhere. He's following her around because he wants to get access to that tombstone. So we may see a scene involving the tombstone again, like we did in the first movie. Now, Anthwood has asked another question or mentioned something else, and I'll go to that as well. And a lot of people mentioned this, is with regards to Michael picking up the mask in the trailer. He said, maybe Michael picking up the mask and Laurie talking over as the final shots of the film leading into Halloween Ends, knowing this isn't over. Well, that could be the case. Maybe that's him picking up the mask at the end of the movie, and then it cuts, and then we have to wait another year. But other people have mentioned about that scene, saying that that scene could be for trailer purposes only. And I'm still a hit and a miss with that one, because I don't know if that is the case. I don't know if they would put something like that in as cheesy as that for just trailer purposes. If we don't see it in the movie, it doesn't mean it's only shot for the trailer. It could mean that they've just removed it from the film because they've got a lot of time to edit. But I don't think it's just for trailer purposes. I think that is purposeful for the movie, because they wouldn't go to the whole lengths of doing that one scene with Michael with his two fingers picking up the mask, and he's obviously bandaged up as well. So I'm still, it could be for trailer purposes. I'm not saying it's not, but it's highly unlikely. Foxy the Pirate has said, the two things which got me the most is the shot of Laurie screaming Michael and everybody's seeing something, and the one part where Alison is saying something horrible, most probably a death scene, and screams. Damn, I'm hyped. I'll maybe talk about the Alison scene in a second or later on, just in case someone else has that question. But yeah, when Laurie screams Michael, it got me excited, but again, and I mentioned this in the trailer breakdown, why is she shouting Michael? It's almost like she always gives him a heads up. Don't shout him, just run away. Don't let him know that you're there. So as much as that excited you, it excited me, but it still made me think, why are you shouting Michael? Madbra has said, the 63-year-old is still out there killing folks, and that's a common mistake. He's not 63, he's 61, because again, this is set in 2018, but I get your point. Richard Bunch has said, can't wait to see what led up to this poor guy got his throat slashed. Got his throat straight slashed. Yeah, I mean, that's the big scene in this trailer. That's the part that got most people hyped up. Because when I first seen that scene, which is this one, I thought, oh wow, this looks very brutal. And this is just a small teaser trailer. Again, we don't know who that is yet. I still don't know. I don't know if that's a guy with a costume on or a woman with a costume on. But it's somebody with something red on. It looks like a red costume or a cape or possibly a hoodie. Someone with a hood on. At the end of the day, it could just be a random person. That might not be anyone specific, but that got me hyped. Deborah Grover has said, biggest question for me is why Michael's mask is off, and biggest fear is that they will show Michael without his mask. I don't think they will. I think if they're going to show him without his mask, it'll be similar to the 2018 movie, in the distance, or blurred, or with something covering his face. I don't think we're going to see a full shot of his face for a long period of time. Any period of time where we would see what it looks like. I think you would have to pause it to see what it looks like, but you're not going to do that anyway. You're going to watch the movie. So I don't fear that we will see his face. I just think if we do see his face, it won't be for any length of time. And going back to the mask being off, again, I think his mask will either fall off or somebody's taken it off him, I don't know. But I think he'll get it back on again in time for us not to see his face fully. Now the next question comes from Bry Horror Channel, aka my cousin Brian. He said, I'm just going to go to the scene with Karen just now. He said, could the scene of Karen looking horrified be her looking at Ray from Laurie's burned down house? Maybe she's heading back to the house to try and grab whatever's left of maybe the weapons, especially if the town of Haddonfield are out to lynch Michael. So yes, she did leave with her mum and her daughter and didn't even realise that Ray was killed. He was still in the garden, even though they kind of had to leave almost in his direction, but they didn't notice him anyway. That could be Ray. Brian said that she looked horrified. Now looking at the image here, she doesn't look horrified to me. It could be a case of she never liked Ray. I don't know. I liked Ray. I think I'm the only person that liked Ray. But looking at that image, she doesn't look horrified. Again, that's just a screenshot, so maybe she is horrified. She may be looking at Ray's body thinking, Michael's killed my husband, I'm going to get revenge. That could be what that scene is. But to me, it looks like she's looking at something that she was expecting. Could be Ray, but she's looking at something to think, oh yes, like, I'm going to do something. So it could be Ray, I don't know. I still think it could be Michael that she's standing over. Maybe she's about to try and kill him and then he kills her, I don't know. Looking at the lighting of the image as well, it's definitely outdoors, so it could definitely be Ray, but I wouldn't count it out being somebody or something else. Next comments from KM Svensk. They've said, the main thing that goes through my mind is how much of this footage will actually find its way to stay in the movie. That's a good question. And how much of it is extra footage to just lure fans in. For instance, in the scene with Laurie screaming Michael while she's next to Karen, if that scene occurs in the same Halloween night, doesn't Laurie look a little too healed or well for someone who we've seen in photos covered in blood after a brutal fight with Michael just hours before? All good questions and all good points as well. Let me just go to the scene where she's shouting Michael. Now we don't see a bottom half of her. That could be her trying to climb down from her hospital bed. Maybe Karen's helping her. Maybe Alison's out there trying to make her way to the hospital and Michael's chasing her and she's shouting Michael. I don't understand that scene either, because I've mentioned again, I don't think she should be shouting Michael, because Michael doesn't know who she is, and if he does know who she is, he's got a really good memory. So I don't know why she's shouting him, but it could be a scene just for the trailer. I don't think it is. I think it's definitely a scene for the movie because you've got a lot of cast members in that scene, a lot of extras in the scene. So if it doesn't make it to the movie, I don't think that's for trailer purposes. I just think it's a deleted scene, if anything. Next comment is from Caretaker. They've said, one question I have is how he's going to fight and kill with only one good hand. Well, you can see in that image there when he picks up the mask, he's obviously bandaged up himself, and he's got two fingers there. I'm sure he can do something with his two fingers, but that's his left hand. I'm assuming that he's right-handed, and he's going to be doing a lot more with his right hand than he did with his left hand. So I think he'll still be capable with 1.5 hands. 7 up. Now I'm looking at this image here, nobody's asked it in this question, but somebody did mention it on the channel before with that image of Lindsay saying that she's wearing different clothes to what she was wearing in the scene with her being choked by Michael, and I don't think she is wearing different clothes. I think she's just got her jacket on. It is quite hard to see, but I think she's still wearing the same clothes but just different layers. So I still think that that's, if not the same exact scene, an extension of the scene that we first saw in the first look of Halloween Kills. Now this is the most talked about scene, because I did mention that I didn't know where Alison was in this shot, and I still don't know where she is. Now a lot of people are saying that's the Myers house. Now there's nothing to tell us that is the Myers house, so I'm thinking that they're either going off what they hope happens or what they've been told. And then again, this isn't a spoiler, it's just what we're thinking might happen. Now looking at this shot, what tells me that this is the Myers house? I don't know. I mean, it doesn't look that run down. I don't know the reason for her being at the Myers house either. So for me to say that this would have been the Myers house initially, I would just be guessing on what other people are saying. I genuinely don't see where people are seeing this could be the Myers house. I mean, looking at this shot here, even trying to make this image lighter, there's nothing telling me that this is the Myers house. So I'm hoping that the guys are saying that this is the Myers house are just guessing, because there's nothing to tell me that this is at all the Myers house. If it is the Myers house, why is she going to the Myers house? Is somebody there that she loves that Michael's taken? Or does she think that Michael's going there to live and she wants to go and kill him because of what happened to her dad or somebody else that she may have loved? Is Cameron there? There's a lot of questions. If that's the Myers house, that leaves us with a lot of questions. If it's not the Myers house, then it gives us less questions. So that's just other points that I have missed, and maybe other points that you may have missed as well. Just a few things that in general some people might have missed. For example, that woman that works in the cemetery, I completely missed that. Even though I showed a screenshot of her, I'm like, this is a woman from Halloween Kills, don't know what she's doing there, and I don't know who she is, and I completely forgot about her because she was only in one small scene in the cemetery. That's why these videos are good, to refresh our memories, because there are things that everybody can miss. So thanks to everybody who was leaving comments, thanks to everybody who left some questions in that the community page as well. It gave us some good things to talk about. But again, if there's anything else that I've missed, I'm not going to do another video on it, but if there's anything else that we've not discussed yet, guys, as always, leave your comments down below, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.